It's no accident that you're here. Something inside you pushed you to seek answers, to make sense of what you've been through. By the end of this video, everything will become clear. You're a kind, compassionate person, always ready to help. But why do some people treat you with disdain? Why isn't respect always reciprocated? You expected your kindness to forge deep connections, to be appreciated. Yet often it feels like it backfires. You're ignored, taken advantage of, or belittled. This isn't just bad luck. It's a specific dynamic rooted in human psychology that shows up unexpectedly, like contempt for those who don't set clear boundaries. Today, you'll learn 5 reasons why your kindness might lead to a loss of respect and, most importantly, how to protect yourself without compromising who you are. The kinder you are, the more superficially people treat you. You strive to be respectful, but there's always someone who takes you for granted, ignores you, or exploits you. You were taught that being good is the right thing to do, so why, instead of respect, do you often find yourself seen as less significant? The answer is simple. Kindness isn't always perceived as a strength. Sometimes it's seen as an opportunity for others. Here are 5 reasons why your excessive kindness has led to being undervalued by those who couldn't recognize the true worth of generosity. The first reason, boundless kindness is perceived as weakness. People constantly test boundaries. If you're always available, always saying yes, and putting others' needs above your own without setting limits, some will start to see you as an easy target, a phenomenon of exploiting goodwill. If you don't establish boundaries, anyone can invade your emotional space and take whatever they want without worrying about the consequences. In social interactions, respect goes to those who show a clear understanding of their limits. Those who are always available are seen as people you can rely on without giving anything back. This can lead to your kindness being exploited, not necessarily out of malice, but often because it's taken for granted. The solution isn't to stop being kind, but to learn to define your boundaries clearly and communicate them to others. Jung said that no one can have a clear conscience without knowing their shadow. When your kindness lacks boundaries, you not only allow others to take advantage of it, but you also deprive yourself of the chance to develop your more assertive, self-aware side. The shadow isn't just repressed impulses. It's also the qualities you don't acknowledge in yourself, like the ability to say no or defend your space. If you don't learn to balance your altruism with self-protection, others will start to see you as someone they can use, not as a person with their own inner strength. The second reason, availability devalues your kindness. When something is always accessible, it loses its value, and this applies not just to things, but to people too. If those around you know you'll always be there, ready to help without expecting anything in return, they may stop seeing the worth of your presence. This isn't about becoming selfish. It's about remembering that kindness is a resource to be used thoughtfully. And Carl Jung said that balance between light and shadow is the key to a harmonious life. If you give limitlessly without setting boundaries, your kindness can become a source of suffering. People value what isn't available at all times. If you're constantly ready to help, your assistance becomes routine rather than something they're grateful for. Over time, this can lead to emotional exhaustion, disappointment in people, and an inner conflict between your desire to help and the feeling of being used. The solution is to realize that generosity is valuable only when it's intentional. Helping doesn't mean being always available. It means knowing how to choose who to help and when. The true value of kindness isn't in boundless giving without reciprocation, but in managing it wisely. Jung said that if generosity isn't balanced with an awareness of your limits, the shadow emerges as exhaustion, resentment, or devaluation from others. True respect comes not from constant availability, but from knowing how to ration your kindness, so it remains precious and doesn't fade into the background for others. The third reason, kindness clashes with social norms, sparking resistance. We live in a world where toughness is rewarded and competition is seen as the only path to success. In this context, being kind, generous, and respectful means not playing power games. This doesn't mean being naive. It means consciously rejecting toxic dynamics that many consider normal. People are used to a quid pro quo system, and when they encounter someone who acts selflessly, it challenges their value system. They feel threatened because your kindness questions their entrenched beliefs. Often kindness is mistaken for an invitation to self-sacrifice. Those who give without expecting anything in return often end up in a role they didn't choose. The person who's always there, always listening, always helping. Once you become that person, Others start to assume you don't need anything. Your needs fade into the background, and people begin to take your presence for granted, as if your time and energy are infinite resources. This creates a vicious cycle. The more available you become, the less people think about your needs and the more they see your help as a given. Over time, you might feel tired, drained, or even resentful toward those who don't notice your efforts. Why does this happen? Because your generosity isn't seen as a deliberate act of kindness, but as a constant state people get used to. Show kindness, but also learn to say no. You can't be a pillar for others if you don't protect yourself. Learning to say, I need time for myself, or I can't help right now, isn't about being harsh or selfish. It's about respecting your emotional balance. Jung said, if someone wants to see good in you, they will. If they want to see evil, they will too. And that depends more on them than on you. When you give selflessly, you're not just helping, you're also teaching others how to treat you. If you sacrifice yourself without expressing your needs, people will start to believe you don't have any. The shadow of generosity is the risk of becoming invisible, existing only for what you can give others. But true altruism isn't self-destruction, it's the ability to help without losing yourself. The fourth reason, your kindness reflects others' insecurities. Some people aren't ready to accept kindness, suspecting it has a hidden motive. This happens because your kindness acts as a mirror, exposing their inability to give without expecting something in return. Those who've built walls of distrust see your sincerity as a threat. Your behavior becomes a silent reminder that another way of living is possible, one not built on calculation and gain. But instead of embracing this realization, they choose to reject it with indifference or even contempt. For some, your generosity threatens their usual way of thinking. It forces them to confront their own greed or unresolved conflicts. These people have been through situations that taught them every kind act comes with a catch, and survival depends on mistrust. Their instinctive reaction isn't to value your generosity, but to diminish it, preserving their worldview. When your kindness meets someone who's lost faith in themselves and their ability to trust, the result is an unconscious rejection. Your altruism reflects what they've suppressed in themselves, and rather than acknowledge it, they project their insecurity onto you as skepticism or hostility. To stay kind and maintain respect, learn to say no without guilt. Set clear boundaries and give intentionally, not out of obligation. Remember that self-respect matters more than others' approval. Build confidence so you're seen as a person, not a convenient tool. True kindness is the ability to help without losing yourself. Value yourself and others will start to value you too. Thanks for watching.